Hello there. I'm gonna get straight to the point with these and drop my greatest beef first. The volume is severely underwhelming, but despite its flaws, there's some serious depth to the Moondrop pills that might ultimately get you addicted, like they did with me. If you aren't aware, Moondrop aims to balance aesthetics and audio quality with unique features and without condemning your wallet to an early grave. Not that they can't. Okay, let's get to that sheet of paper. The Moondrop Pills are a $50 pair of open wireless earbuds, often discounted. OWS is great if you don't want to get too intimate with your audio and would rather blend it with the world around you. Although with these ones, it kind of awkwardly occupies that spot. More on that in a bit. For connectivity, the buds pack Bluetooth 6, awesome future-proofing. For codec, it can do SBC and AAC, so unfortunately no aptX and LDAC. Not great, but realistically you wouldn't be fully able to take advantage of those anyway. There's this built-in NPU for AI-assisted ENC, or environmental noise cancellation.
Bruh.
I don't know what purpose this serves, nor do I think it helps at all, so yeah. For battery, the buds have 40 milliamp hours. I'm not sure if that's per earbud or if it's 20 milliamp hours per earbud, but Moondrop rates them for 8 hours of active use, a figure that has consistently held up over my personal use, and the case has a 300 milliamp hour cell, providing an additional 20 hours. It juices back up with Type-C and comes with a cute little cable in the box. The case makes for a ridiculously fun stunt. When I first flipped it open, I was like, it's addicting, and every time I have it with me, I find myself playing with it. As to how sturdy the mechanism is, it functions the same as the day I got it, and has yet to show any signs of concern. Although the thoughts to its fragility still cements itself pretty firmly in my mind, as it is extremely easy to open it unintentionally. But at least the buds themselves attached to the case with comfortingly tense magnets. Both the buds and the case are made out of a pretty premium feeling plastic, besides the cheaper feeling outer translucent shell of the case, which is pretty prone to smudges. It also comes in green and red, both of which look a lot more interesting than the black that I have here. I am attracted to the stealthy look of the black earbuds though. The case is light, but very large and oddly shaped, so not as pocket friendly as I'd like. I tend to only carry them if I'm wearing a hoodie or carrying a bag around. The buds themselves feel really good. The texture and build infers trust, and they have capacitive sensors for audio control, which can be configured to your liking in the Moondrop app. The buds flex and fit over the side of your ear. Now, everybody's ears are different, and I have kind of small, weird ear canals that makes it really difficult to find earbuds that fit me comfortably. So I was kind of partial to this open ear style of bud. However, a caveat with these is that the driver portion is unusually large, which does benefit its audio quality with the cost of extra burden that has been annoying me. The controller portion also adds a bit more stress on my ears that I'm not partial to. About that audio though. Connecting to the buds, you're greeted with this adorable voice. She provides the audio-based system prompts for whatever is going on with the device and brings a smile to my face, just like you do when you like my videos and subscribe to my channel.
Disconnected. Connected.
Audio is driven by a single specialized 13mm big boy. With the large driver housing, the seal on your ear becomes a bit tighter, making it isolate you more than other open ears. Not good if you really want that transparency, and could lead you to speaking at a higher volume than you may want to. Depending on your taste, that may be a valuable compromise. The bass is a bit flat out of the box, despite the tighter seal, and you'll need to tweak it if you're after it, which thankfully Moondrop makes this pretty easy with their app. The app resolves most issues you may have with the tuning. You can even import configs from other users. From my usage, listening to mostly EDM, video game OSTs, hip-hop and rock, the trebles are smooth and easy to listen to, but not quite as warm as the bass. This means that on occasion with the default tuning, they don't quite marry together compared to something like the tuned 2s, but it does give us that kind of clean and warm tuning that Moondrop is known for. The soundstage is pretty expensive for OWS, so I don't mind listening to complex pieces, provided I'm not in public or in a room with almost any noise, as even with being on high gain permanently, there is very little wattage being put through these. This leads me to I was originally excited about these to use for background ambiance without having to spend more money on something like AirPod Pros, use them in transparency mode, and plug up my ear holes while walking around. Unfortunately, it is this specific aspect where they kind of fall apart. The larger driver housing leads to more isolation without enough volume to quite split the difference and enable you to enjoy the sound profile while out in public, which defeats the purpose of choosing these over traditional TWS in-ears for music enjoying, especially with something like the Tribit Flybuds C1s that fit me far more comfortably over long periods, although that could just apply to me. I'd like to hear about your fit preference in the comments below, as it does make a massive difference when it comes to in-ears and OWS. This is not to say that you can't enjoy the Moondrop Pills when in a less noisy environment. This is where they really begin to stand out. Last thing I want to rant about with these is also inherent to their design, and that is the microphone quality. Whenever I'm on a call in a noisy environment, the people on the other end have all had a great time hearing everything in my surroundings but me. Being a huge fan of Moondrop products, I've had pretty high expectations for these, but I have to face my disappointment with the fact that most of the problems I have with these are inherent to OWS clip-on style earbuds. I wouldn't be able to recommend them if they're your only pair, unless you're specifically looking for this style of earbud. Compared to the limited OWS competition in this price range, and taking the physical limitations of this form factor into consideration, they provide some unique gimmicks that honestly do make them a really compelling choice. Over my use with them long term, I've been pretty conflicted as to where I stand with these, but now I've really grown into them, despite the uncomfortable fit for my ears. I genuinely do find myself using these very often, especially when I want to feel in my own bubble without being completely absorbed by it. So they did kind of end up filling the role that I intended them taking when I purchased them. Not perfectly, but their character makes up for it. If you want to get a pair for yourself, feel free to use the link in my description to get $5 off at Shenzhen Audio. This applies to any other product you'd like to buy at Shenzhen Audio. But if they haven't hit the mark for you, I suggest taking a look at the Open Free from Rose Technics that come in around $5 less, have slightly longer battery life, and supports LDAC, although they're only Bluetooth 5.4 and lack the quirkiness of the Pulse. Not to mention the Moondrop app. They really do sound good when you can actually hear them. Just remember to use them in moderation. See you in the next one.